You want to make your off-road tires go from this to this. I'm going to show you how I do it in this video. So dressing your off-road tires is one of those things that you don't even really know is a problem until you've actually tried to do it. If you've never owned off-road tires before, then you don't even know the struggles that can pop up. So if you're just going to use like a regular applicator, this is exactly what happens. Those the side lugs of an off-road tire, whether it's a mud tire or even aggressive all-terrain, you got these really aggressive side lugs, and that's what it does. It chews the crap out of your little foam applicator when you're rubbing it across, and it doesn't do a very good job either trying to wipe it on there. So I'm going to show you how I do it. This might seem kind of overcomplicated if you just want to put a tire dressing on your tires, but this is the way that I've found works best, that as far as dealing with the side lugs of the tire, as well as getting like kind of an overall smooth, even finish on them. So I divide it up into, well, I mean, it's two steps. First, you got to clean them. If you're not cleaning them first, whatever your product of choice isn't going to stick. It's not going to last long. So in this case, I'm using Meguiar's Super Degreaser. You don't want to do that every single time you wash your vehicle, just because these stronger degreasers can dry out the rubber, I guess, over time. But I haven't washed the poor girl. I've been neglecting her. It's been like 2 months since I've even cleaned this thing up at all. So we got a lot of grime to clean up off the rubber, so we're going with a degreaser. And I'm just going to use one of these regular parts store brushes. No big deal. Nothing special. So then once the tire is clean, I'm going to clean the rest of the wheel and then clean the whole truck. And then once this, from here over, is going to be our dressing section. Now for products, I like to use this stuff. Just any water-based tire gel is going to do the trick. But this Poorboy stuff, it's cheap. You can get a big bottle like this for like $12 or something. And what I do is I put the same stuff into this old spray bottle. I dilute this stuff down to make it runnier. You can see it's a lot thinner. And I just add some water to make it runny, as opposed to the gel, thicker. Now you don't have to use both of these. If you want, you can just use the spray-on one for the entire tire, but I find the thicker gel, it seems to stick onto the rubber better and it lasts a bit longer. So anywhere you can get this stuff onto the tire, to me it's worth doing. So what I end up doing is the spray bottle, and I use this brush, is what I use for the side lugs. I'll spray it onto the brush and also on the tire itself, and then I'll rub it in with the brush. So that's why you want the thinner stuff. Now the thicker stuff, I use a regular, just your normal foam applicator, and this is what I use like on the smooth parts of the tire closer to the rim. And I use this two-step process. Just like I say, it's just for myself. If you want to completely skip this part and use just this for the entire tire, you can do that too. So we're going to do a thorough cleaning first and get some good suds going, pull that crap off the tire, and then we'll wash the rest of the truck. And then with the finishing touches, we're going to throw the dressings on, make the tires look real nice. And the reason for a water-based dressing like this, number one, is because I can dilute it down just like I did in this spray bottle with water. It's water-based, you're adding more water. The other reason, this stuff is easy to get off when it's time for a new coat. You can scrub it off, no problem. The quick and easy way for some people is just to use like those aerosol bottles and just spray the whole tire down. You can do that. I've done that before. It creates a mess. It's going to attract dirt and dust. It's like impossible to scrub off then afterwards when you want to clean your tires. So this way, this is just I've tried everything, and this is what I've come to be using now these days, and it works well. Obviously, you're going to want to rinse your tires off first, and then you'll spray your cleaner on. And depending on what you're using, how dirty your tire is, that's going to depend on how much you're going to have to clean them and how hard you're going to have to push this. You might want to let the cleaner sit on the tire for a little bit first and kind of eat away at the grime on there if they're really bad. So then I'll just come in there and use my brush to scrub into the lugs as much as I can. That's usually where all the dirt collects in there. Then I'll rinse it off and see where I'm at. Now, the best way to know when your tires are clean and ready to be dressed is to take a look at the color of the suds after you're done scrubbing your cleaner. You'll notice my first couple of attempts cleaning the tire that the suds are still yellowish or brownish as I scrub away. That shows that the grime is getting pulled up into those suds and off the tire. So as long as that is still yellow or brown looking, then the tires still aren't clean yet. So you want to keep on doing this. Just keep cycling it over and over. You want to spray your cleaner on, scrub it, rinse it off. Spray your cleaner on, scrub it, rinse it off. Keep doing that until the suds stay white after you're done scrubbing, and that's how you know there's nothing else coming off the tires. On my 4runner, obviously, like I mentioned, I've been neglecting this thing really badly this summer. So it took me, I think it was three cycles of cleaning these things up, and then they finally got clean. So normally when I stay on top of it, it'll only take one quick scrub, but the fact that these have been sitting out in the elements and been getting covered in grime and mud and dirt, they needed a more aggressive cleaning. So it all depends on how clean your tires are to start with and how often you clean them. Alright, the tires are clean. Now it's time to actually put the dressing on. And you can see I start from the outside of the tire and work my way in. So I'm starting with the lugs. I'm using the spray bottle with the thinner dressing and just spraying it on the tire. I don't spray too much on there just because the tire is still a little bit wet. I don't want to make it too runny. And I don't personally like really shiny, wet looking tires. I just want them to be really dark black and kind of a satin finish. Now it's time to switch over to the gel and the foam applicator. You probably don't need to dump it all over the applicator to like a total mouth breather like I did, but a couple dots on there will do. Now you just want to go in and do the smooth part of the tire and get as much of that gel on as much of the tire as you can, because like I said, that stuff seems to last longer. And afterwards, you might get a little bit of overspray onto your wheels, and you just come back with the towel and kind of clean any of it up. Now, especially if you've done this while the tires are still wet, they might look a little bit runny and a little uneven after your first pass. And you can see kind of the streaks and everything on here. It doesn't look very good, but all you need to do is just wait till they're completely dry and just touch them up. Just spray a little bit more into your brush itself. Don't spray any more on the tire, and you can kind of dab your applicator on there again as well. Here you can see the before and after. You might have noticed after I had cleaned the tires, they still had kind of a brown tinge to them. That's just stained into the rubber on these. This is, I mean, in the end, this is a Toyota truck, and I treat it like that. It gets dirty and muddy and driven in the winter, so this isn't one of those YouTube channels that only deals with perfectly clean vehicles, and this is real world stuff. This thing gets driven, so. That's the good thing about this tire shine though, is it covers up all those stains in the rubber, makes them look like brand new again. Now you can see after I've come back in and touched these up, just kind of scrubbed the brush around the lugs a little bit more and did a little bit extra gel on the smooth part, just to make sure I get a nice satin finish, nice and consistent. Nothing crazy shiny. This the sheen will still die down a little bit further on this as they dry. So this is the end result, just clean, satin-looking black tires, which is just the way I like it. Complements the shiny paint just right, but without looking real cheesy. Some of those real greasy-looking tire shines, I don't know, it looks like you're trying too hard. I don't want to draw attention to my tires, I just want them to match the rest of it. So that's how I dress my off-road tires. There's many different ways to skin a cat. That's just the way that I do it, that I found gives me the look that I want. And I don't have to sit there for an hour and a half with a little paintbrush scrubbing each lug individually. That gets old real quick. So hopefully this helps you out a little bit, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. See you.